Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to learn how to embody inspired action-based marketing and continue to sell through leadership. All right, we want to stop digging into pain points, leaving our customers feeling confused and attached. I added this lesson to the program because I realized a lot of people were saying that, I inspire them, I make them feel empowered, I make them feel like they can do anything, and I did not realize it was a skill set that a lot of people wanted to learn. Because most of the time, people just take pain points and speak on pain points in the literal sense, right? And it doesn't necessarily match the energy that they want to give off because they don't really want to dig into someone's pain point. They want to empower them, but they don't know how to do it. Okay, and exhortation and the ability to empower is just in my DNA. I kind of always was someone who saw the bigger picture, saw the bright side of things. It was just my natural default. But it was truly brought to my attention when just so many people were bringing it up. And then after having a conversation with a friend and talking about the power of words, he took something that I wrote and flipped it into an even more positive and empowering statement. And that's when it hit me. And I was like, okay, I have to teach this. I was like, wow, okay. So I need to just break down the way that I think, put together some useful steps, and help other people create their own strategy for empowered messaging. Okay, so let's get into it. So, what is empowerment marketing? All right, it is time to embody marketing that inspires and empowers the potential someone already has in them. Okay, we don't want to motivate from the fear of lack or the fear of inadequacy. Too much marketing out there is creating fear-based attachments by exploiting someone's weakness, their insecurities that they may have about themselves, and they're stating that as the reason why they don't have the things that they want in life, right? Why they haven't reached their transformation, why they haven't gotten to where they want to be. And for decades, marketing has been focused on making you feel inadequate in order to get you to buy things. Okay, it is time for that to stop. As selling leaders, we have to market in ways that make us better people and make the world a better place. All right. It's not your fault though, because when you first start marketing, one of the first things you do, is point out the pain points, right? Point out the problems, point out the things that are keeping people stuck. But everybody does that. I did it too. I mean, for decades, inadequacy marketing has been the norm. So we are constantly bombarded. It is unfortunately ingrained in most of the type of messaging skills that we use. So it's time for us to break free, because when you know better, you do better. Okay, so empowerment marketing builds stories that point out the possibility of someone's potential, their possibility for achievement, right? It goes beyond the superficial wins. It goes beyond the lack. Empowerment stories are often a celebrated breath of fresh air against all of the familiar anxiety-provoking messaging. Okay, they inspire action by painting a picture of a better way to feel and make an impact in a world that tries to bring you down and create unhealthy attachments. Empowerment marketing is the process of providing your followers with the tools and resources needed to be successful and to make well-informed decisions. Okay? Empowering messages help you stand out. All right, if everybody else is digging into pain points and you are highlighting pain points, but not in a way that makes someone feel inadequate, you're definitely going to stand out. And you're going to provide your followers with the power to make choices, the power to take action, aka this is what's going to activate them to buy your offer. This is how you continue to practice the art of selling without selling. So why is empowerment marketing important? Okay, empowered marketing that activates, creates deep affinity, strong attraction. So your content, your messaging, your personality, your brand is going to attract the right buyers, people that are ready to buy. Okay, it does this by acknowledging that your customers can be something more than the superficial things that we normally seek, right? Status, comfort, convenience. People want more. Yes, those are the tangible results and the things that they want, but there's something deeper behind that. When you help your followers make smarter choices, they develop a stronger bond with you, okay? They are generally more happier with a brand experience when you actually make an effort to empower them, right? You want to lead them to water and teach them how to drink. You want to teach them how to fish. And this leads to improvements in customer retention as well as opportunities to encourage word of mouth and referrals. So customers who feel supported are often more loyal. And that's because they feel like you align with their needs and they can trust that the information that you're going to provide, the offer that you're going to provide, is going to be relevant to their circumstance and it's going to solve their problem. Okay, that is so important. I hope you can see how many benefits that are deeper, benefits that really money can't buy, that you can establish by using this type of marketing. Okay, and having the right people, the right followers at the right time, at the right point in their journey, who are primed and ready for your offer, is going to reduce the people that struggle while using your offer, right? So you're going to make sure you are definitely finding the right fit of your audience. It's going to help your customers get faster results because they are primed and ready to use your offer. And that's going to lead you to a mountain of amazing testimonials. There are strategies to get testimonials, but when you do all of this right, you're not going to need that because testimonials are just going to be coming at you left and right. Okay, when I first started this course, I wasn't getting the testimonials that I was looking for because I knew that the course was not what it needed to be. And I definitely had to ask and seek testimonials. And when I just completely wiped everything and went back to the drawing board, ever since relaunching and doing the new version of Followers to Sales, I have not asked for testimonials yet. That is actually inside of my timeline, my goal, my plan. Is there's a part where I go and I actually do in-depth testimonials, but I just haven't got there yet. And this is what happens when you put so much energy and good vibes into what you do, right? You get benefits that you just cannot force at all. The energy that I put in keeps returning to me tenfold. Okay, and because I focus on empowering and equipping you in every detail of my business, whether you read a post, an email, inside the course, you are going to feel it, right? And that is why I have amazing testimonials. That's why you're getting faster results. That's why I have word of mouth and referrals. And it is literally because of this strategy. Okay, so this strategy is not just for, better messaging and things like that. You can use this and infuse this principle in your entire business. All right. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to your workbook so that I can break down step by step how to create your own empowered marketing messaging and walk you through a few examples. Okay, so you are going to have your empowered marketing workbook. This is the sample, and I will include a link to the sample inside of your original workbook so that the examples that I create in this lesson, you can have access to them too. Okay. So we have your action items, and here is the steps empowered marketing strategy. So you want to go through each of these steps, and the key is to uncover the truth behind each point so you can find more empowering messaging for it. All right. So you are going to grab your buyer surveys and your offer persona. Okay. And the list of topics that you're going to pull out are all the pain points, the transformation that they want, and then where they are, because these are generally the topics that people use to make someone feel inadequate, where it's like, okay, well, you're here because you're not doing XYZ and you're never going to get to your transformation because of this and that and the other. So you want to make a list of all of those things. Okay. And if there are any feelings, especially from the offer persona, right? You've probably identified a lot of negative feelings they have about where they're at, feelings they have about their pain points, the things that they struggle with. Then you're going to go through each of them and find out what they actually mean on a deeper level in regards to your offer. What does it mean when someone says that they're sad about something, or sad about being overweight, or sad about not being able to launch their business? Like, what does that really mean? Okay. And again, you may not have the answers for some of these, especially for the feelings, but if you've done your work and you've followed each of the modules up to this point, you've probably have a lot of great scenarios and stories and interviews and deep understanding of your offer and your buyer to actually be able to identify what that feeling means in relation to, the pain point, the transformation, or where they are. Okay. Now for each pain point or each of the main points, write out and match them with their new potential. Okay. So you're going to ask yourself what you want them to feel concerning this pain point. And then you're going to create messaging that speaks to where they can be and what's possible for them, while showing them you understand what they're currently trying is not getting them the result that they want. Basically, you're going to just take what the pain point is, take the transformation, take where they are, and you want to just point out what the potential could be. Not dig in the fact that the pain point exists and that's why they can't be where they're at, right? We want to flip it. So after you write that out, you're going to go back and you're going to see if there's still any negative words inside of your new messaging. Find the antonym for it, which is basically the opposite. And you can just use it, and go to antonym.com and find a more positive twist. And then when you are done, you're going to ask the following questions after you draft your new messaging. Okay? And does it make someone feel left out or included? Okay, that's what you're going to look at your overall messaging. Does it give off the vibe of look at me or come with me? Okay. Is it more solution oriented or problem oriented? Are my words leaving them in a better place or are they feeling down? Am I equipping them to take action or have I left them confused? Okay, so these are the steps and let's actually go through them. Okay, so before we get to that, you're going to have some ideas. These are just examples, things that you can do in terms of how to kind of reposition some of the, negative based marketing, right? So idea number 1 is expose the lies of inadequacy. So state a powerful truth in the face of commonly accepted lies in your niche around your offer, right? There are probably a lot of lies, probably a lot of negative stories, negative connotations, right? What can you state that's the opposite of that? That's going to really activate someone then for them to be like, oh my gosh, finally someone who speaks my language, right? So especially in the business coaching space, right? So this is a good example. Success is when you hit 7 figures, have a mansion, and you drive a Lambo. So that messaging can, you can see those Facebook ads where, the guy has the 3 Lambos in front of the mansion in Miami and he's holding his ClickFunnels plaque and this is what success looks like. And if you are not waking up and drinking eggs and working out and have a team of, whatever, and dress a certain way, then you're not going to be successful. That is, you can find that marketing and messaging, whether it be inside the copy or the actual creative or marketing campaign itself. Versus success is when you overcome imposter syndrome and create an offer that changes someone's life while giving you the time and freedom to do the things you love and spend it with your family. That really is look, there's nothing wrong with either or. But most people don't want that. Most people don't want to wear tight clothes, drink eggs, and stand in front, of a Miami mansion with 10,000 Lambos. Most of the time, they want to just overcome the fact that they're the first person in their family to try to run a business. So they're constantly getting over this imposter syndrome. They have created something amazing, and they know that if they get it in the right person's hands, it's going to change their life, right? And they want time. They want their time back. And they want freedom to do the things that they love so that it doesn't feel like this business is sucking the life out of them and they're missing out on their family. So again, same thing, but just a different way to say it, okay? Idea number 2 is to equip your buyer. Instead of telling them what they lack, equip them with knowledge or tools they can use to get better. Help them focus on the solution, not the present problem, right? If we keep people focused on the problem, how are they ever going to find a solution? So I'll go into detail in the example, but basically my offer isn't for you if you lack all of these things, right? Versus what you need for my offer. The latter empowers them so that they can go and get ready and be prepared to, be in position to use your offer. The first part doesn't leave them in a better place. It's just pointing out all the things that they already know, but you're just pouring salt in their wounds. And at that point, they're still well, I still don't know what to do to get better to even use your offer versus what you need for my offer. And you give them a list, they're going to go and prepare that and get ready and come back to you because in a roundabout way, even if they haven't signed up for your offer, you've left them in a better place. Remember, we talked about this. Am I leaving them in a better place? Am I equipping them to take action, right? Or have I left them confused? So idea number 3, when you are looking at your pain points, the transformation, where they are, you can do this for any part of your messaging or your offer or your buyer. Just think of any place that generally is negative that you want to have a more empowering, positive spin. Okay? So number 3 is speak to their potential, what they can be. Because a lot of times, and I say this a lot too, is that my student success isn't because of me. It's what I already know they have in them. And I just shine the light. I just hold the space. I just give them the opportunity to just tap into who they already are. And I do this because that's who I was too. Nobody like turned these lights on for me. Nobody like, gave me the power source. I already had it in me. I just needed someone to hold space for me so that I could learn how to hold space for myself. So inspired customers make better brand influencers than helpless customers who are inadequately attached to you. Also too, you don't want your customers or students to be attached to you at the hip. You want them to be like independent powerhouses going out there and getting it ready for your next offer, right? In a powerful way versus like literally sending you 10,000 customer service emails every 2 seconds, right? Speak to who they will become, their inner transformation, and not just the tangible rewards, okay? So a good way to sort of articulate this is that, like, let's say you are a coach that teaches people how to achieve goals. A lot of times people really struggle to achieve goals because they look at like the number, right? Like, let's say their goal is like hit 10,000K or 10K months. If they don't achieve it, they get down because they don't really understand the art of achieving goals, right? So the purpose of the goal isn't always to achieve it. It could be focusing on who they need to become in order to achieve that, in order to be someone that commands 10K months. And so it's more focusing on the development of who they are. And so when you can kind of speak to their potential, shift their mindset, be like, oh, wow, I didn't like, this is why I always get down when I don't achieve goals. And, this is actually the right way to achieve goals, or a better way, to achieve goals, and really have them focus on their growth, their potential, who they can become, okay? And then before we get into the example, here are the feelings guide. So this is to help you with this number 2, so that if you do see any negative feelings that are around the pain points, transformation, or where they are, you can go through them and go on a deeper level. So I'm not going to go into, I'm not going to read them all because you can literally just read them. But it's easy to talk about the feel-good emotions, but can we take a empowering spin on the ones that don't feel so good? And if you can do that, I'm telling you, you are really going to stand out. So you want to do some research by, again, talking to your audience, studying online what certain feelings can mean in relation to your offer. There are so many great resources that break down the meaning of feelings and emotions, but I've created a little list for you to just get started. So I'm just going to go through the first 3. I just have to actually go through a few of them. Let me see. Yes, okay, shame. So shame generally helps people to explore what's gone wrong. Shame can show that your follower is internalizing other people's belief about who they should be, what they should be doing. It shows they need to reconnect with themselves, right? So you can help them find their worth and stand in their own power, help them understand how frivolous opinions can be, help them to focus on their uniqueness and authenticity. This can apply to so many things. A lot of people maybe can feel shame because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't look like the Fashion Nova girls. I don't dress that way. So you maybe have a clothing brand that highlights the unique personality, different unique personalities. And it isn't necessarily focused on a look, but maybe more so like their shape or their body type. So that instead of focusing on like a trend or a look, you're complementing what they naturally already have, which in essence is going to make them, stand out and shine. Sometimes people feel, shame because they we talked about in an earlier example, they're the first people in their family to do this. And then maybe they've failed a few times. And then because of the failure, they're feeling shame because everyone's saying, hey, see, I told you shouldn't be doing this. You need to go back to college. You need to go get a job. You need to do this. And they're feeling shame about it because they don't understand that failure is just a process on the way to success, right? So you can really help them find their worth, take that word shame and flip it into a more empowering way. Okay, so that's pretty much what I go through with each of these emotions, and give you kind of a better idea on how you can spin them. Okay, so let's actually go through the example. I already wrote it out for the sake of time in this training, but in the first part, you want to write out all the lists of the pain points, transformation, where they are, again, get them from your buyer surveys and your offer persona. So I pulled out a few issues that I know that some of my students deal with. So I have my pain point here, I have my transformation, and I have where they are. Okay, so pain point usually is like lack of sales skills, the roller coaster bank account, up 1 minute, down 1 minute, negative the next. Inconsistent sales, anxiety, fear, or sadness, confusion. Transformation is that they want to have a business they can be proud of. They want time freedom. They want financial freedom. They would at least, love to be making 10K a month on their way to 7 figures. Where they currently are is that they have an amazing offer, but they struggle with traffic and sales strategies. Okay. And this eats into their confidence and they're wondering why other people are making it, but they don't. So this is just like the literal list. That's all you're doing is just listing it out. And you want to take all of this and just, again, find a more empowering message for it. So I pulled out some of the negative feelings that I saw and I wanted to go deeper on them. So anxiety, okay? I know that because I've done the research, because I've done my buyer surveys, because I've done my offer persona, I know that anxiety causes a lot of my students to not make decisions in their business. They're so stressed to make decisions in their business, which makes every day and the journey and the process of growing their business feel miserable. It makes them doubt if they even should be doing this. Like I can go on and on about how anxiety hurts them, and not in a way to say, well, your anxiety is holding you back and that's why your life sucks. Like I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to empathize with them and say, hey, look, I know what it's like to pace back and forth and not be able to get any sleep, check your bank account, hope that there's a sale, and really kind of create those stories, right? And take a more empowering twist. Okay. And fear on spending any money because what they did in the past has failed. So they see an offer, they see something that they want, that they know is a good fit, but they're just, again, they either have the wrong mentality around failure, or there could be other issues, other fears, fear of being judged, fear, shame of like people saying, oh, you just bought something else and it's not going to work, right? Sadness from knowing that they have something amazing, but not knowing how to get it out there. That's what a lot of people struggle with, is that they have this amazing offer. It's changed their life. They know it can change someone else's life. You just have to learn the skill of sales, the skill of marketing, right? And then confusions from this person saying to do this, even though it doesn't feel aligned, and they're just like, oh my gosh, is there anyone out there who gets it? Okay. So that is the feelings. All right. Okay. So let's go over an example on how most of the time, this is generally how they would dig into this pain points that we talked about up here, the lack of sales skills, right? The transformation of where they are. So what I want them to know, when I'm reframing this point and making it more empowering is that, this isn't the only way. And when I say this isn't the only way, I'm referring to you don't have to have mansions. You don't have to have Lambos. The example I talked about before, you don't have to live that lifestyle, right? If you understand the basic principles and sales skills, then you can learn to do it your way. You can learn to do it in a way that makes you feel empowered, right? So I want them to understand that. So this is how most of the time we would generally create messaging. Are you feeling so unhappy with your life, and every time you open your bank account, you feel like a failure? Look at everyone buying homes and dream cars while on vacation because they have passive income. Don't you want it too? My program will reveal to you how to make 7 figures in 7 days. That part was exaggerating. That's just really funny to me because I feel like that's what happens sometimes in people's marketing. But yeah, you can see here, right? It's like you're digging into the unhappy with your life, right? Every time they open your bank account, which we know is like such a daunting task. Then just digging into the fact that they feel like a failure. Look at everyone else, right? Insert comparison. And it's because they have something you don't, right? Come on, don't you want it too? And then some unrealistic goal. But anyways, the first part is that this is not empowering. This is inadequate. This is making someone feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't have this offer, then I'm not going to make that. No, you don't want people feeling coerced or shamed into doing something. Okay? So here's a new way to write this. There's a new approach to how you do business, and it's deeper than what the hustle culture gurus are telling you to do. Running a business that's true to you, taps into your unique creativity, and never feels like work, all while watching your sales notifications fire off. This is confidence. This is ignited power. This is you stepping into your most powerful self as you effortlessly command your way to a 7-figure business. My program will reveal what's already inside you. Come join XYZ and learn how to grow your heart-centered business without the overwhelm and burnout. So just by going through, each of these steps, right, I can just start drafting up messaging. And again, you're not going to get this, like, if you don't feel like you don't get this right out the gate, that's okay. Just keep drafting it. And if there's still any negative words, use the antonym, find a better version for it, okay? And then at the end, ask yourself, does this make someone feel left out or included? I believe this definitely makes someone feel included. Does it give off of a more look at me or come with me vibe, right? Like if I'm standing, in a full Louis Vuitton outfit and Louis Vuitton shoes and, in front of a Rolls Royce truck and a mansion, and versus like come with me, which could then just be like, me and my, I don't have kids, but like me and, it could be you and your kids, like, having fun at Disneyland. Like what's a little bit more relatable, depending on who your audience is. I'm not saying one of the other is wrong. It's just that, again, there is that subtle inadequacy feeling inside of that certain types of marketing styles, okay? So is it more solution-oriented or problem-oriented? Are we continuing to dig into the problem, or are we providing them a solution, providing them a way out, providing them with information that helps them make an empowered decision, okay? Are your words leaving them in a better place, or are they feeling down? I feel like these words definitely leave them in a better place. And then are you equipping them to take action, or have I left them confused? I feel like this is check, right? So you can check off all of these questions. If that's good, then you can keep reiterating this example. But if not, and you're done with it, then this is something that you can use in your copy, in your sales page, in your email, in your captions, right? But this, again, just generally, this principle, this strategy, this way of thinking is how you want to start writing and creating all of your marketing content, okay? All of your customer service emails, all of your program content, your captions, everything. This is just how you want to operate in terms of your business messaging. So I'm going to give you a quick example where you may not have to go through all of this process, okay? So example number 2 is to show you how to equip your buyer. So I got this from a friend, and a lot of times, especially for coaches and online courses, we have a section that says who my offer isn't good for. And generally speaking, it most of the time can be negative, right? If you don't have this, if you lack this, if you lack that, if you're not willing to do this, X, Y, Z. Yes, you definitely want to qualify your people. But again, you kind of leave them in a little bit confused, because it's like they thought your offer was the answer. They spent the time going through your content and your information, but then if they don't fit that criteria, then it's kind of like, well, what do I do to like get help? So they're not really left in a better place. And it could be so simple where he says, change it to what you need for this offer. Instead of who my offer isn't good for, it could be what you need for this offer. So then you prepare a list of things they need to have ready, right? Who they need to be, things they need to have in their business in order to use your offer. So what happens is that you leave them in a better place. Even if they don't buy your offer at that point, right? You have actually given them some tips on how they can come back and be ready for your offer. So that's going to help them trust you more, instead of them feeling like, oh, okay, well, I don't fit any of that. So like, what do I do now? Continue the search. But it's like, oh, wait, well, you know what? I'm not ready, but he or she's giving me a list on how I can be ready. So using empowering messaging helps them become aware of what they need, right? Versus digging in what they lack. So they may have thought your offer was the answer, but now they're aware of the things that they may not have known that they needed before using your offer. They're going to go get those things, and more than likely they're going to come back to you, okay? And then again, that's going to help you qualify the right people. That's going to make sure people are primed and ready to buy your offer. And so that is how simple this concept of empowered marketing is, okay? So another quick example is you want to speak to their potential. So I actually copied some of my scripts from some of my email campaigns and my content from before, because I wanted to show you a real example of how I use this type of marketing. So again, inspired customers are so much better than helpless customers. Speak to who they can become, their inner transformation, and not just the tangible rewards, right? So this is some copy that I have, because clarity is just like, we talk about this a lot. Clarity is the key to the course. So clarity is the name of the game. So that's the transformation that they want. When I revamped this course, the one thing I wanted so much for my students was clarity. So here's how I'm highlighting pain points, because I know how defeating confusion feels. So I'm empathizing with them, how it kills your momentum, how you feel trapped by the grips of anxiety because you don't know what to do. Right? So I'm not saying you are these things, you are bad, you suck because this, you don't have success because of this. I'm empathizing, right? And then I move forward by saying, but I know that clarity gives you freedom. It breeds confidence. It opens the door for creativity and paves the way for imagination. This allows you to take steps boldly and leave uncertainty behind, right? So now I'm showing them the potential of what they can become. Clarity is something they want to achieve. Boldness, leaving uncertainty behind, right? I want this for you too. Come join me in my team, and come join me in Team Clarity inside F2S, and let's build your dream together. So instead of me just digging in why they don't have the business that they don't have and why they're stuck, I'm like, no. Here's a transformation I know you want. I know you want clarity, but here's your pain points and here's where you're at. And I know that if you have clarity, it's going to free you from that. And I invite you to come with me so that we can do this together, okay, and free yourself from these pain points. So that's how simple it can be, okay? And I still go through the same process. I'm just showing you kind of like the end results, okay? I went through the first example that walks through each step, and then the last two are just kind of showing you the end results. So I still write out all the pain points. I still go through the transformation. I still go through where they are. I go through all the negative feelings, right? And then that's when I start to draft my new potential statement, and find any negative words. And then I make sure and I go through at the end and answer these questions, okay? But this is usually the end result. And I just wanted to give you some more examples, okay? And then the last example that still kind of falls under the idea of speaking to their potential. My students' success isn't because of me. They already had it in them. I just provide an environment that helps them feel safe to grow, become, make mistakes, learn, try again, right? These are all the things that they want, but also it's like, wow, like I can make mistakes and that's okay, right? I never tell them what to do. I teach them long-lasting principles and skills so they can think for themselves, right? So I'm empowering people. I'm teaching them to rely on themselves. I help you enjoy the journey and not the destination. That's such a powerful shift that, a lot of people want. Right? When you focus on the destination, it'll always be far away. But when you focus on the journey, who you have to become to get to the destination, then the destination is inevitable and you start to enjoy life instead of longing for this thing you don't have. So yes, I know that there's a transformation, that's something that they seek in the future, right? But I'm going to give them the reality. The reality is we have to enjoy every single step, okay? So you can continue to read the rest of this example, and I will leave this, again, linked inside of your workbook so that you can kind of see the 3 different versions, okay? So let me see. Yep, that is it for your workbook walkthrough. Okay, so just like all of the other skills and strategies and tactics inside of this program, you have to keep practicing until you get better, okay? So practice, practice, practice. One thing you can do to check your tone to make sure you are using a more empowering tone is to use Grammarly or tone-based tools. So you can put your copy, you can put your messaging into it, and it can detect the tone of your messaging. So it'll help you know if you are sad or uplifting or happy or inspiring or empowering. Like, it's gonna literally tell you that. And even better, if you can't find the right words to actually hit the tone that you want, then Grammarly and these other tools can give you suggestions on better ways to frame your sentence so that you can make it more empowering. And that's just going to teach you how to naturally start to create those sentences yourself, okay? Other thing that you can do is you can survey a friend. So you can have a friend, you can have them read your messaging and then ask them the questions. These are the same questions that are inside of your workbook. Or you can ask a buyer, have them read the messaging and then ask these questions, and then that's going to really gauge how people are receiving your messaging. Okay, so action items for this lesson: get your empowered marketing workbook, complete the steps provided in your workbook for all the key points. This is your pain points, the transformation, where they are, or honestly anything that you feel has a negative energy on it and you want to switch it and find more empowered messaging. begin, and then you will have a list of new empowered marketing messaging and start to use that in your content, your captions, your emails, your sales pages, everything, okay? And then share your feedback or takeaway from your experience in the members only community or VIP group, and even better, share your results, whether this results in better engagement, saves, shares, and most importantly, sales. So that is it for this lesson. I am so excited for you guys to use this. This is going to be so powerful. And once you nail this, like, you are going to be able to just spit out empowered messaging, with your eyes closed. It's going to be so amazing, and it's going to really transform how you articulate your business, especially for all of you that are heart-centered businesses and you just want to completely remove, feeling salesy, and you really want to get out there and show up and serve. So if you have any questions, drop them in the discussion area of this lesson, in the members only community, or the VIP Facebook group, and I will see you in the next training.